Experiment 3.4, what does soap do to water? And this is part 2. So here we've got our water back, trying to get it nice and still again. I had to dump it out and in order to get the pepper out of there. So this is a fresh supply of water, but all the other supplies are basically the same. We need a metal paper clip, like this one right here. And you need a sheet of facial tissue. Or not, I'm sorry, just one square of toilet paper is what you need here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to drop this paper clip into the water to try to get it to float. Okay, so that's what I want to do here. I want to try to get this to float. So I'm going to drop it ever so softly onto the water surface to see if I can get it to float. Nope, it stuck to my finger a little bit. It sure didn't float. It's way down there on the bottom. Okay, and so let's get the paper clip out. And we're going to dry it off. Now what we're going to do is with that square of toilet paper, we're going to use it to help the paper clip float on water. And as you saw there in your book, what is that picture, figure 3.3 on page 69? That is a picture of a paper clip floating in water. So we can get the paper clip to float. It just didn't happen that time. So here's what we're going to do. Okay, we're going to take this paper clip and lay it on the toilet paper like this. Now this is a fairly large sheet, okay? And it actually, the instructions in the book tell you to cut this toilet paper down where it's, a couple inches longer, a couple inches wider. So you may not need that entire sheet, but you could use the entire sheet just fine. So here we go. Okay, now what you're going to do is you're going to softly, place this on the water. Now I can see that I've got a little bit of stickiness to this paper clip. One that came in the kit is actually taped to a piece of paper, and it said paper clip on it. When I rip the tape off here, I can still feel a little bit of residue on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rinse this off a little bit. There we go. To try to get that stickiness off of there. So I was afraid is that it's going to stick to the toilet paper is what I was afraid of. So what we're going to do is we're going to slowly drop this onto the water's surface. There we go. Now you may not be able to see this on the video camera, but it is floating. And the toilet paper is floating on the water, and the paper clip is floating on there. And we can help this along a little bit by taking the corners of the toilet paper and pushing it down. Just be careful. We want the toilet paper to begin to sink. There it goes. The toilet paper is going to sink, and the paper clip should be floating on the water there. Now that we've got the toilet paper on the bottom, we're ready to test the other things. So we're going to dip the tweezers into the water, and your procedure tells you to allow it to sit there for a minute. And you can bring it close to the paper clip. No matter how long you leave the tweezers in here, you're not going to see that paper clip move. Now it might move due to the current of the water. If you move the tweezers around really fast, then it gets the water to move, then the paper clip will move. But the tweezers itself is not going to make that move. So now what we want to try is we want to try the gum. We'll put that in here. See if we can get the paper clip to move. And the paper clip does move a little bit. Okay. does move a little bit. It doesn't move a lot, okay, but enough that we can make observations and say that it does move. Now, try to clean off the gum off the tweezers there. Now let's use the facial tissue. Now the paper clip's moving a lot more. As soon as I submerged it, it moved away from the tissue paper. And I can pretty much push this paper clip around the water without even touching it. Now what we're going to do is with the soap. And the soap really causes the paper clip to move very fast. I don't even have to touch it. So this is just like those boats, okay? When you had the soap attached to it, the soap attached to the boat made it move the fastest. And we can see that too with the paper clip. Now if you do this long enough, okay, if you do this long enough, you'll eventually see that the paper clip will fall to the bottom. And that's because the soap, the molecules of the soap sit on the surface. And you can see that around, okay, if you look at it close enough, you can see the soap molecules on the surface there. And what that does is it breaks that surface tension in the water to where it won't be able to hold this paper clip anymore. So try it out. See if you can get that paper clip to sink with your chunk of soap here. It'll take a while to do it, but eventually it should be able to fall.